just get this set up real fast.
Yeah, but I played mostly support in Zen, like in Zen.
Do you want to do a bunch of stuff about Zen or like just DPS or both or everything?
I mean, both works. I mean, I kind of want to get better at playing other heroes, but like I play the most in Zen because like when you play competitive ladder, it's legit. I usually end up filling because people will hop in and they just click. So I usually end up filling, and it's usually a support fill, and then I usually fill with Zen. So I play like the most Zen. I might have like 100 hours in the game, and a good 30, 40 of them is on Zen.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay, check out that link. Oh, let me close this application.
Cool.
Which map did you say you? Okay, okay, yeah. So there's a few options we can do right now. I can uh, go through something where you think you did really well, and then show you where you can improve more, or I can help you where you think you don't know what the fuck you were doing, so then I can help you out and improve from there.
I mean, I don't know. Should I? Because like
Do you think you know it all?
I don't know. No clue.
Okay,
I
good.
mean,
Because
Zen is
otherwise I'd
probably.
have to break your mentality.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I know I'm not good.
Okay, yeah, like everybody's here to improve. Nobody here's the best. And
Zach.
yeah, like I have not. I may. It's entirely possible that I'm wrong about some things, but like a lot of the things that I know will be at least fairly correct. Like you could probably take them as the truth for a while until you find like an actual legit coach that is way smarter than I am and can prove otherwise. Also, if you have
Yeah.
questions about like what the fuck what I'm what I'm saying, like let me know because I'm gonna use like terms that you're probably not aware of. So just tell me and I'll explain it as much as I can.
Cool, 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 cool.
hmm Um, right. So actually, we probably don't even like. Are you aware of? Well, shit. You know what? Let me pull up something real fast because I usually do like. It's been a while since I've taught the basics, and I need to make sure that I start in the right place. Otherwise, you will get lost really easily.
What is it?
Don't know where I put the image. There it is. Take a look at that image. Right. So, are you interested in team play, or actually, let's start off with your personal play first. Um, Yeah, we're gonna assume nobody on your team knows anything, and everybody's trash, and the enemy team is always a god. Okay?
Okay.
Red team's always better. Our team is always bots. We're just gonna go off of those assumptions because those are pretty much baseline assumptions. Um,
Okay.
so mechanical skills, aim, movement, and vision, heroes' abilities, and utility. Um, let's do movement and vision. We'll say, yeah. Let's start off here. Let me just make sure I'm marking this stuff down so that when we go over this stuff again, um, yeah, okay. Let's get started. Okay, do you see on the q.gg link, do you see it at like 1 hour 36 minutes? You're on Zen
Yeah.
and
Yep. Yep.
Hanamura? Okay. We're not going to go over why pick certain heroes because anything goes as long as you're good enough. And because you're just starting out, you are going to be smarter than everybody else and you're going to be better than everybody else in this rank in no time at all. So we're just going to let you play whatever the fuck you want. And we're not going to give a shit about any hero synergies or whatever. But we will talk about how to utilize your kit to enable your team, especially on things like Zen and Tracer and stuff like that.
Cool.
Right, so uh, if I ask about what you're doing, I just want to know like what your thought process was to understand where you're coming from to make sure that I can
Okay.
help you properly. Um,
Yeah. Okay.
if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, just say I don't know, and that's fine.
Okay.
Because like
Cool.
I also want to make sure that you're using your brain, right? Because it is actually important to use your brain and not just like bot the fuck out, because that's how you
Yeah.
actually improve. So yeah, like
Yeah.
if you're like, well, I don't know, it's because my team is trash. That's I don't want to hear that ever.
Yeah. 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 I
Okay.
get it.
All right. So yeah, ball. Okay. Let's see what we have. We have a widow, a junkrat, a ball, a Hammond, and a Moira, and a Zen. So, a- as Zen, right? Your ult is very strong. It can pretty much prevent an entire enemy ult, right? Even multiple.
Mhm.
So we want to build our ult as fast as possible, so we can do that by doing damage and doing healing. Um, and then there's like very tiny amount by passive, but we don't even consider that because it's so small. Um,
Mhm.
so to get the maximum amount of healing, who do you think you should be able to? Who do you think you should be healing like as a default target, like default person to throw your healing orb on?
Karma.
Yeah, the ball or the ball. Maybe the hog. Hog does have a Moira with him, and the hog does have his own healing thing. So ball will always be taking damage, but you just have to be careful because he's gonna leave your line of sight real fast. So if we don't have line of sight on him, let's make sure we're probably on line of sight at the Roadhog, and then we can like always farm our ult really fast like that.
Okay.
So and also um with Zen, Zen's usually considered like the flex support or like non. He's not a tank healer because it's so low. Like he can definitely heal tanks to get his ult, but if you have a Widow and a Moira, right? The Moira can't heal Widow, so it's more on you to like help out your DPS for healing. So like if you have a flanker like a Tracer or a Genji, you want to be throwing your healing orb on them to enable them to go in and take the fight and have healing in that fight. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. Also, are you writing this stuff down?
Yeah. Give me one. Cool. Okay. Okay. Sure. Hello?
Yeah, 1 second. Have you heard of something called LOS or line of sight?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you? Should I explain it anyways, just to make sure that you have the same understanding as I do? You okay with that?
Um, can I try
Yeah,
explaining
yeah. Go
it
ahead. Go
to
ahead.
like so? So be positive. It's line of sight is how I'm pretty sure we're talking about how Zen's to orb works, right? Like
Let's just
after a
do
certain
general,
time.
and then we'll go Zen
Okay.
specific.
Okay. General line of sight is just who you have direct vision on, like someone like you can actually physically see on the screen. They're not hidden behind any
Right.
objects.
So let's apply that to abilities and everybody in the game, right? So like when we say line of sight, and like when we say Moira's calling break LOS, that means you just don't get touched by it, right? So that would be her thing is direct beam, so it would be you can't see her, she can't see you, easy. For
Okay.
things like but that for like Widow, if you break LOS, an enemy Widow, that might mean you can still see her, but you have a shield in front of you, because she can't shoot through shield, but but the Moira thing can shoot through shields. Like Moira and Winston, those can shoot through shields, right?
Oh,
So like you have to be aware of that. That is also a thing. So,
okay.
hmm
So line of sight is it depends on the hero and how they can actually cause damage. And if you break line of sight, you just wouldn't. They just wouldn't be able, like if it's an ability that they can't do anything until they see you. You break line of sight as long as you can't see them. But if it's an ability that can't get their shield, as long as you're behind a shield, you can still see them, but they
hmm
can't do anything to you.
yeah. So like let's say, um, let me pull the map here. So this is Oasis, right? Let's say
Hmm.
you have, or let's say you have a Rein Zarya over here, right? And
Hmm.
then wait, no, let's say that's whoops, shit. Okay, let's say they have an Orisa shield right here, right? And then you have a Rein shield, or you have a Rein trying to walk in, right? Let's
Hmm.
say you're on. Do you play any other support besides Zen?
Um. Well, when I really played, it was like before there was that many split choices. I played Anna, Zen, and Mercy in the beginning, and then
Okay,
when Mercy got nerfed,
nice.
I just played Anna and Zen.
Okay, yeah. So let's pretend you're on Ana and you're sitting over
Uh
here,
huh.
and then your Ryan's walking in. The second Ryan walks past the Orisa shield, you need to tell him LOS. You're LOSing me. Like I can't see you, or like you can see him, but like you can't heal him, right? You're out of
Oh
my
yeah
healing line
yeah
of
yeah.
sight. So like let's say if you were on Moira, and the Ryan was walking over there, because Moira heals don't go through shields anymore. If you're over here and you can't like get back there, you need to tell him to back off because he's line of sighting you.
Oh okay.
hmm Okay, cool. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a concept that we should be aware of. Now where the fuck was it? Yeah, right. So with Zen, um, all he has to do, let's say this is a map, right? With Zen, if this is a wall, and this is your teammate, this is Zen. Zen just needs to peek once every like 2-3 seconds to make sure like um
The
his
orb
teammate
stays on.
still has, yeah, right. So that's all Zen line of sight needs to do. Um, so like um, with ball Hammond, right? So we or with ball hog, we throw it on ball, and then like the second it gets off ball and we can't see him anymore, and like if let's say, let's go forwards a little bit and just make so like right here. If our ball is inside right now, let's say our ball's like over there, you
Mm-hmm.
are so no, we're red. Yeah, so you're not safe here at all. Um, you're not safe peeking this really. So if you just have it on Zen or have it on the hog and just peek on this side real like this, or if you were to cross over and then if they had widows, I'd say it's not worth it to cross over, but they don't, so we can cross over and probably live. So we can um we can probably cross over to this side and like have line of sight onto the ball and then like just peek down there, right?
Okay.
That way, we're safe. We're in our team line of sight and less of enemy line of sight.
Okay.
Also, with most supports, wait, let's do Paris. Are you familiar with Paris map?
Is it one of the newer maps?
Yeah. Wait, let's do like King's Row instead. Well, what's your favorite map?
I don't have one.
Okay, it's gonna be King's Row because that's what everybody scrims on so often.
Okay, cool. Great. Kings Rose. It is.
So let's pretend you're on defense
Yeah.
and you're on honor or Zen. So you sit back here underneath the bridge thing, or like let's say you're sitting back there. Um,
Okay.
so you are in as Anna. Actually, no, 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 we're gonna do 2C. Mm, I'm trying to think of a really, really good example of this. I mean, yeah, right here is fine. Okay, we're just gonna do Hanamura. Okay, right. So if you're on defense, right,
Mhm.
enemy team has line of sight like this, and like this,
Okay.
right? So like they have line of sight on all of that area. So
Yeah.
if you're on Ana and you sit here, or yeah, if you sit there on Ana and your team's like in this area, while the shields are
Mhm.
here, you are safe to be peeking constantly and like just keeping an eye on this area because you are in line of sight of your team and not so much of their team, right?
Okay.
So as a support, you want to be the best place to be is in line of sight of your team and not accessible to the enemy team. So like playing all the way back here rather than inside of your team is much better. And also playing on the high ground. If you played, let's say you somehow got up here, up top there. You know where I'm talking. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So if you somehow got up there as a support, one you just have to watch out for snipers because then you don't have a shield up here, right?
Uh-huh.
So if they don't have snipers, then you're probably safe. And like it'll be you could like back off a little bit to like prevent them from shooting you. And this will increase your survivability. Um, and then you can see your team, you can see them. They cannot touch you unless they use an ability or like they waste things to get onto you, right?
Mhm.
And abilities are very important because Winston jump, that's his escape. Like yeah, oh shit. We're not gonna get into that yet. Remind me to. Okay, yeah. So where was I before this? Line of sighting. Yeah. So line of sight, right? So playing up top here, you're in line of sight of your team and somewhat of the enemy team. And if they had a widow, then you just play down inside here where it's harder for them to shoot you, but you can still pretty much see your team, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's something at the beginning of just always be if you can't if you see or hear action, you need to just double check or you're like are you familiar with like how fights happen in games? Like there's like a calm and then there's like an actual fight, right? And then it's a pattern and then sometimes in like bronze and silver there's just constantly a fight because nobody ever resets.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So
I know. Yeah.
before every fight, you want to check your positioning. Where am I? Where do I need to be? How can I be effective? And if you know what they have already, then you say, based on what they have, where's the best spot for me to be, right? Actually, I
Okay.
should have a list of this somewhere. is it? I'm gonna be sad if I don't have this anymore. No, I know where it is. It's in the underdogs chat. Hmm. Okay, I don't know where the hell. I guess I'm rewriting it now. Okay, so. Oop, shit! I just closed that. Here we go. I think I found it. Yikes! It's not it. Okay, yeah, fine. We'll just rewrite it now. Unlucky. Okay, so, um, before every fight, wait, I swear I have this somewhere. I know what it's called. It's called pre-fight. Where? Okay. Damn. Okay. Never mind then. What a waste of time. Feels bad. Um. So pre-fight, right? That's like before anything happens. When you guys are getting ready to, before you even leave spawn, it's pre-fight. Um. This is where you want to see what am I? Where do I want to sit? Where do I want to be? What do I want to do?
So like this is like going when the other team is regrouping.
Yeah, like when an enemy, so like it goes pre-fight, mid-fight, post-fight, and you do certain things in each fight in order to secure your success for each fight, right? So that consists of um, ult tracking, ult planning, positioning and pathing, and then target calling. So at the beginning of every fight, you want to say, okay, what do we have? Uh, let's say we have a Junkrat tire and a coalescence. Everything that's the only ults we have. What can we do to win a fight? Well, we know tire's a pretty damn really strong thing, and we know coalescence can do a lot of damage, but it's not really a winning. It's not really a game winning. It's not really a win condition. If you had like grav and tire, that's a win condition for sure. And let's say you had a Zarya instead of let's say you're running Rein Zarya instead of him and Ball. So let's say, what do they have? They have a Brig. The supports are Brig and Moira. So that means they don't have Trance, they don't have Beat, and they don't have a backfield to stop a tire. So that means they're dead to a tire. The only things that can survive it is if Orisa halts, if Reaper fades, if Moira fades, or if Mei ice blocks. But we can almost definitely kill the Sigma, and the brig. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Was that too
sorry.
much? Yeah.
No, no, no. I was thinking it.
Yeah. So like, if we were to bait out these fades or ice block or Orisa Harden, then we would be like, yo, let's use the ult now because they don't have things that can prevent them from dying in it, right? So like
Uh huh.
if you hear the fades, if you hear the ice block, if you hear or if you see Orisa go gold, like you call that out, and then that'll tell your team, or hopefully, well, your team won't understand any what these call out means, and you will have to explain it to them. But like when you see these things, you say, hey, they used their abilities. Let's use our ult now because like they don't have things to stop it, or they don't have things to survive through it. So that then your Zarya would start really looking for a grab, and the Junkrat will probably sit over here and look to tire or something, right?
Mhm.
So that's how you do pre-fight, or that's actually mid-fight. When you call out mid-fight info calls is when you call out like, oh, they use these abilities right now. Um, and then pre-fight is like, let's use the Zarya and tire. Mid-fight is they use these abilities. Let's go now. Let's do it now. And then in
Mhm.
pre-fight you would also be like, okay, let's head in. Um, just down main, or let's head in down right up top and then just wrap all the way around, then it's back to point. That's like pathing planning. Like you need to do that to make sure that your team just doesn't go and then everybody spreads out everywhere. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And your path is based on your win condition. So let's say you had dive, um, or let's say you have or let's say you have Orisa Hog, then that's a slower comp because like you don't really have. It's really you have to move slowly because Orisa shield lasts for 10 seconds at a time, right? So
Mhm. Yeah.
every 10 seconds you like take some ground, right? Rather than Ryan Zarya where you
Mhm.
can like just move constantly.
Walk.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like based on those is you would say, okay, let's do this or this. Or let's say based on the ultimate you want to use, let's say it's let's say it's a Baptiste and a Bastion ult, or it's just Baptiste window which doubles damage going through it. And let's have Bastion sit down, so let's take a long sight line. So let's just sit our asses down in main and use window and just shoot them down from wherever they are, right? And
Mhm.
that's all the pathing you need to do, and then you just say, okay, go point once they start dying. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Uh, actually, in my where's the comms thing? Yeah, so that's that. Um, right, so that's just general gameplay. Let's get into what you're actually doing.
Okay.
Um, what have we gone over so far? Line of sight, a little bit about positioning, a little bit about comms and what to say and how to plan things, right?
Yep.
And also how to use Zen Orb. Okay, that is actually a lot, but let's do something that you can actually apply. Um,
That's a dead Orisa?
And we're like, it's all or nothing. It's nerf or nothing.
We can move in.
So
Yeah,
if
I was
you have a
saying,
question
yeah.
about something, let's
I'm coming
just
back.
call me out and like ask,
Three, two, one,
or like
go.
you say like
Okay.
what the hell are we doing here, or like what should I be doing here? Like that's fine.
Oh, never mind.
Okay.
Let's say, go, go, go.
Refresh Discord in. Discord in.
Oh, good
Yeah, we
Discord
press
calls.
W? Yeah, we press W?
Hold on. I can't hear in-game audio, so I have no clue
If
what you're
you
talking.
mute and unmute the site, if you hit the mute button on the bottom there.
We press W? We press W? Okay.
Do you hear it?
Press W.
Oh yeah, bit.
Okay, good. Okay. Should I? Okay, I'm just gonna pick apart your gameplay, just on this fight. Okay. Tell me why I am very concerned for you being in this position right now.
If there's like a widow or like a Hanzo, they can
Mm-hmm.
pick me off.
Yep. We don't know what they're running. We don't know what ground is safe yet. So like, until we know what they have, you need to play it as safe as you can. So like, hug this wall, play go like just like watch everything, right? And like even
Mhm.
here, like people hide here, people hide up top there. So like we just gotta check all of our corners. And like even in spawn, before we leave, we want to be like watching the doorways, watching for movement, and watching for where they are. Maybe we can hear them. Some maps you can even press hero select, and like you can see like an overview of the map, and you can like hear them coming out of spawn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like you'll know what they have, so you'll be like, hey, they have a widow, or hey, I hear Junkrat throwing his mines everywhere, or hey, I just heard I heard a Pharah, or hey, I see them walking down there. Then you'll know like, okay, they have these things, they have widows, so I need to play like a bitch and like check every single corner. Or they have a tracer, I need to check every single corner. Or like, let's say they have a bastion and a Mei, so they're probably not going to be in your spawn, so you can be like, okay, let's find out where they're setting up. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
I want to say in ladder and in pretty much all of your games for right now, like just expect them to be in the stupidest fucking places and literally everywhere. And just make sure you check your corners, because
Okay.
people will just hide in the stupidest places because nobody checks it, and like they just get it for free. And when I say check corners, like um, peek it and then walk forwards. Don't just walk forwards and like until you get confident in your in deathmatch. I'd recommend you peek first and then you start aiming, or you peek first, come back, and then you say, okay, I didn't see anything. Let's do it again. Let's check the other side if we didn't get to it yet. Um,
Okay.
or if you're really comfortable with like if you hear movement and you just fucking 180 and you hit them in the head, that's when you can start actually walking through without backing off before you keep going. Because that would mean you can, if you're on Zen specifically, like Zen does not have any one shot abilities. All he has is right click, so he can charge right click
Mhm.
and like try to peek with that maybe. But he's silent. He's a silent but deadly hero. Um, so like not making any sound as he peek is usually gonna benefit you more. But on heroes where you like make footsteps, then like that's gonna be very important, and like you can probably just try like charging a shot when you're trying to peek things. Sometimes maybe like a Mei, if you're trying to peek with a Mei, right? Like the second you peek, the second before you peek is when you start charging your right click, maybe, right?
Mhm.
So there's that kind of stuff, right? So make sure we're checking corners and not playing where we don't know if it's safe. Okay. Right, so we saw that, right? So, cool. What the hell is happening right here? Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about the team. What the hell just got shot at you? Oh, it's a Hanzo, so they do have a sniper. Wait, that's not a Hanzo. What the fuck? Am I blind? Hold on. Okay, I'm just blind. I saw Mei Ice go and I thought it was a Hanzo for a second. Right, so that shield was there the whole time. We can just wall. So with Zen, he does absolutely nothing when he's charging right click, right? He's
Mhm.
literally an easy bot. Don't peek. If you don't have to peek when you're charging, don't peek.
Okay.
So like right here, if they had 5,000 people alive, every single one of them can touch you, and you can't touch a single one because the shield is here, and like you're still charging, so you're still in the middle of aiming, right?
Yeah.
So like I'd say peek it, and as you come back, you start charging right click, and then you know, okay, I saw people in this area. Let's go peek it again and actually like line up a shot, and then you peek right before you're getting ready to fire, and then you let go, right?
Okay.
So like with Zen, if you want to do a 5 volley orb shot, if you don't if you had a shield, then you could potentially be like that. But at the same time, don't trust the shields unless it's you just don't always trust the shields. You always want to be like near natural cover, like a wall.
Okay.
Because like Ryan's, they shield hop. Zarya, I mean, yeah, Ryan's shield hop. Sigmas take their shield away at moment's notice. Like versus shields are the safest thing until you see them start to crack. Then you have to be like, oh, let's go play on this corner because the shield is cracked. Like if this was our shield, this shield is like about to break. So let's make sure we're near something to um to get somewhere safe when it does break. Because like
Okay.
widows, they will like The second the shield breaks, they're gonna click your head, right? That's what they're aiming for. So they
Okay.
hope for that the team will kill the shield, and then they're gonna click your head because they're aiming at your head the entire time. If this was your shield, like they're aiming at your head the entire time. Maybe they're shooting the shield, maybe they're not. Maybe they're just waiting for the team to break your shield, and then the second it's dead, you're dead.
Okay.
So yeah, you just have to be careful. Like shields aren't always safe, but you will be forced to like trust them sometimes. Where'd my sound go? Oops.
What the
Okay, right. So
fuck?
that's
Okay, they
peeking.
all were one in my ass.
And this also goes for like things like Hanzo, right? He charges up a shot before he's able to shoot, right?
Mhm.
So the same thing applies to him. And like with Hanzo and Widow, like you can like charge a shot fully and then just peek and immediately like flick and shoot, right? Zen,
Yeah.
kind of the same thing.
Ooh. That's a dead
And also
Orisa.
like
So?
And we're like,
while
it's
they have a
all
shield
or
like in this
It's
stupid
called
position, right?
Deception, bro.
If the enemy team was closer, let's say the enemy team was where the hog is right now, this is
Mhm.
this is as far as you would ever need to go. Like I'd say you don't even need to be this far out. I'd say you like need to be 5 feet behind yourself and just shoot the shield, because right here, right
Wait,
It's called 10 Deception.
here, you can be in this area and shoot that shield without them being able to even shoot you. So you waste their shield, let them have no shield, and then you start walking in. They're gonna have another shield, so you just have to be watch out for that. But like, just waste that shield when like you're totally safe. You're fine if you're like down here and they have nothing to touch you yet, right? So
Okay.
shoot the shield, then you're in absolutely no danger. And then once you break the shield, let's pretend you guys broke the shield early.
okay, they all
Um,
were one in my
right, you
ass.
break the shield, and now you can start peeking for the next. Like where are they? So like once you break the shield, right? They think this area is safe, but it's not because they're not even there. So they're not even holding it, so we can just walk past it. But walking past this is dangerous. One, we have no shield, so we are out in the open, and two, we have we are a ranged hero, so like we can take as much as we want. So we can shoot the shield first, and then we can go in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
All were one in my ass.
Ooh. That's a dead Orisa.
And we're like, it's all or nothing.
So we just gotta pick.
You can move in.
What are we supposed to do? Right? Oh wait, we
Uh-huh.
lost. We actually traded. So we lost our main tank for their main tank. Right? So what does that tell you? Or what if they don't have an Orisa and they're right? If they don't have an Orisa, what does that tell you?
That they have one less shield, and
Right.
it's not as like they can't really camp, but like stay behind a shield permanent.
Right. They have no main shield. They do have a sig shield, but like they if you guys put enough pressure, they will be absolutely forced to back off, or because they will die if they don't.
Okay.
So that would mean, hey, they don't have a shield tank. We have a bunch of damage. We should be able to start putting even more pressure on them right now. So that's like still winnable. Still a winnable fight. Or you do have spawn advantage because it takes him less time to get to you guys, and it takes there some more time to you. You could potentially wait until your last guy respawns and then go in as 6, and it's a 6v5 for the first 10 seconds until the Orisa gets there.
Okay.
So those are your two options.
That's a dead Orisa.
And we're like, it's all or nothing. It's nerf or nothing.
Right, so I think we're just waiting for some
Yeah, I was
reason.
gonna say, they're down. I'm coming
Yeah,
back.
but I'm afraid of the
Alright,
wall.
3,
Like,
2, 1,
you-
go.
You're
Gonna
like
get
peeking
walled.
in front of your tanks here.
Oh, never mind.
I was about to say, go, go, go.
Refresh Discord in. Discord in.
Guys, we pressed up. You're gonna get walled.
I don't know if you know this, but you could
Oh,
do
never
everything you
mind.
did here.
I was about to say, go.
Why do I keep seeing these red lines? Oh, because we're red. Jesus. I thought like a widow shooting at you.
Oh.
But we're red, yeah. So like we could accomplish everything that we were doing over here,
Go, go, go.
right? All these kills. We could have done that
Oh, never
from
mind.
right here. Right?
Okay.
If they don't have snipers, like when our team is walking in and pressuring the front line, if they don't have things that can kill you, right? Like they're all gonna be distracted on the rest of the team. So you can just literally chill here and just keep peeking, right? As a Zen, as an
Okay.
Ana. What other supports do that? Zen, Ana, I think, are the big ones that actually do that. Let me, the hell, what are the supports? Yeah, Ana, Ash, Bap, Bastion, Brig, Lucia, yeah, blah 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 blah. Yeah. Yeah, so Zen can, in this type of thing, Zen can stay safe back here. Zen and Ana can stay safe back here. If you were on like a Lucio, Brig, Moira, and somewhat even Mercy, because they're less short range, they are more effective with their team, so like you'd be pushing up with your team where you were.
Okay.
Because like if you, like, right, let's say you walked up over here, let's say their Reaper was still alive and he was like right here, oh, look at you, you have one tank there, you got one guy there, you are the front line still. So like
Okay.
that's an easy, like, hey, let's get this Zen, he doesn't know what he's doing, right?
Uh-huh.
Guys, we press W. Yeah, we press W.
Easy clap.
Crosshair placement.
Yeah, we press W. Guys, we press
Are you
W.
familiar with that term?
Yeah. Like always keep your crosshair to like head height, and like when someone comes
Mhm.
out of like just be like
Aim
be
where you
ready
expect them
to
to be, right?
yeah.
Guys, we press W.
Right here. Where do we expect them to be?
Either coming right from their spawn from the gates or from the other side.
Right in these areas, yeah. In the areas that I circled, right?
Yeah.
So we know we killed all 6 of them, right? Let's pretend like we were paying attention and we know that.
Uh-huh.
So who will any of them be able to touch the point?
Uh, it would be more of a Reaper.
Right. So maybe Reaper, but he died. So the only thing that's alive, if we were pressing tab now, we'd know that they have an Orisa. Orisa can't touch. Orisa doesn't have the mobility to touch, but she did die early. So maybe she's close.
Uh-huh.
Maybe she's close and she's like still trying to come back and she doesn't realize that her team's dead yet. So we can like keep an eye out for that. They don't have any widows, so like we can potentially peek that. But also Zen is one of the players that is usually a cart bitch, which means he's usually the one on cart when the team pushes up because he has the range. And
Uh-huh.
and then like because you're gonna be running like a Zen Mercy or Zen Ana or Zen Moira. Well, Zen just isn't run with any meta right now. But like usually like you're gonna have a Zen and then some like heavy healer. Um, Actually, Zen Bap is kind of a thing. So like with Zen Bap, I think the team usually ends up playing together because Baptiste thing everybody plays together. Yeah, so like you could, but you won. Let's definitely contest point and take point.
Mhm.
Right, but like let's expect them to come in these ways.
Yeah, we press W.
It may seem minor, but like right here, you see how like it's all at the end of the at the 5 volley, right?
Yeah, we press W.
Mhm.
Like what are we looking at the floor for? I think you might be looking with your eyes and not with your crosshair.
Oh.
So do you know what that means? Like, right, like if you,
I know, I'm like
yeah,
staring at the gates myself, but I'm placing my crosshair, not like
yeah, like you need to, for me personally, how I aim is keep my head straight. Anytime I think I'd want to move my eyes, or anytime I think I want to move my head, that's when I move my arm to look, right? If I think, oh,
okay.
I just saw something on the left, let's move my arm, not my head. So my eyes are always directly in the middle um, of my screen, and like I can always, I see where I'm aiming, and then like I will move my eyes to like check the kill feed, and like check these things and these things, um, but like on heroes where I'm aiming, I need to be paying attention to my crosshair, and like sometimes it's all dependent on everything, but like keeping your head fairly straight will help you because like you just reset your eyes in the middle of the screen. It's much easier.
Okay.
But you just have to make sure you're actually moving your arm.
We press W. We press W. Press W more.
if they had a widow, would you be walking in the same way?
Probably not, because there's 2 openings on top.
Or like your movement walking, right?
Press W.
Because like these are like potential kill areas, right? Like the widows like to peek there early, like walk in like this. I think we're just going like in a straight line, right? We're just like, hey, predict me, right? It's like if you just throw in a random AD when you're walking in, right? Like not just because that actually does nothing. Like if you just do that, right? Then your body is like in the same spot every time they try to shoot anyways, so it doesn't matter. But if you did like yeah, like as long as we're like still with our team kinda, then it's fine.
They're all up top.
And like you can also do some throw some crouches in there.
Yeah, come chase me.
I got the main.
Too far, too far, too far. You don't need to leave past choke really, right?
Okay.
You see that? Right.
Yeah.
Let her use your team as bait. This goes for like all long range DPS, and your Zen and Ana, right? You wanna use your team as bait. Let them walk in, let them take the damage, let them take. Unless you're a tank, you don't want to be taking the aggro. If you're taking the aggro, then you're absolutely throwing.
Okay.
Or well, not that you're absolutely throwing, but like if you walk in first, you're absolutely throwing. I don't know a time where the DPS are supposed to be going in first. It should usually be at the same time or later than the tanks.
Okay.
Yeah, come chase me.
I got the main. Never mind. Your wall.
Did you see that? Did you see
What? Yeah.
Yeah. That should be if you're not right clicking, or like if you the second you see that, like let your shot go, throw a healing orb on him.
Okay.
Because like also because you have a Moira with you, they don't have long range, so you need to be the one to get that long range support ASAP.
Okay.
Kill this Reaper. Your wall.
Like on because it's a hog, I'd say the second I saw my ball up there, like over here. If we were playing properly, we would have seen it even earlier. But like we see the ball up there, right? Like that's
yeah.
when we would say, okay, let's throw a ball on him. He's about to go in.
Okay.
Your wall. Kill this Reaper. Oh wait, never mind.
What are we aiming at here?
Oh wait, never mind.
I think because I saw the critical healing.
You were just
Then,
spamming
like-
and just
I got the main one. No.
yeah. Like was that like more of a I'm not I'm focusing on something else, but I'm just spamming to spam because easy shots, right?
Yeah, kind of like because like I was trying to look. I guess I was trying to look for opportunities to like see if I can see them and throw an orb out. But if I charge anything, like I have to drop a charge to throw an orb. So like I was kind of like moving my cursor between the two because I see 2 critical heals, but I don't see them physically. So I'm like, I was just like spamming to just keep just tossing things around and just trying to look for opportunity to throw the orb out.
Yeah, because like when you're like on, let's say they have a Pharah, and let's say you're on McCree, right? Well, when you can't see McCree, when you can't see the Pharah, but they have a shield right in front of you, you just like AFK spamming the shield, but you're also using your eyes to look around, but you need to be shooting the shield, right? So like, let's say this shield is like right here, so like you'd be aiming in this area, but like your eyes would actually be like floating around, right? Just double checking. Because if you were just using your crosshair to aim and you were looking around, you're wasting precious shots. You're not helping your team at all. Like their shield needs to die, and their Pharah needs to die. What if I told you we can do both by AFK shooting shield and using our eyes just to float around and look for the Pharah?
Okay.
And then also, when you are shooting like that, like if you're shooting and you're not hearing those tick marks, just adjust your aim a tiny bit.
Okay.
Like
Oh, I played half this game without volume. I could hear Discord chat, but I couldn't hear my game. So my headphones only for something that goes back has two inputs,
Mhm.
and one of them I can hear Discord and game volume. One I couldn't. So I was playing like half the game without, like more than half the game without like actual
X.
game volume.
Do you have a laptop?
So yeah.
Bring it into the next club meeting. I'll try to fix it for you.
I got it.
Mhm.
It was just I had to switch the input. I just like I wasn't messing with it, and then like I was like okay, and then in between I think the last 3 games I swapped my output to the one that actually picks up both Discord and in-game volume, so I could hear.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if right now I could even hear anything else outside of
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
Brig one.
That one.
Oh, I'm throwing.
While we're dead, right? We want to be pressing tab and planning out next fights. Yeah.
okay.
No, why am I in it? No.
The things that you do when you're dead is you echo your calls. If you hear somebody saying like Reaper on point, then you just echo Reaper until you see him die in the kill feed, and then you say target or like what's next, or like if you know what's there, like let's say you died and there's a Reaper and a Lucio on point, and then so you're calling Reaper still after you're dead, and then you know the Lucio's still alive, and there's only one person contesting, so it has to be a Lucio, right? So you just keep calling Lucio until you see two, and then you call target. Does that make sense? And that will
Okay,
help
yeah.
will help your team focus on something and actually give them a purpose, because they're always bots, right? You always got to tell them
Okay.
everything to do. So that's just something to do. And then while you do that, you can start thinking, okay, what else do they have? I haven't seen them use Blizzard in a while. I haven't seen them use anything in a while except for Cole. Let's say they use Cole. So based on that, we don't got much. I need to save my trans for the May or the Reaper, right?
Okay.
Or maybe even, yeah, I'd say you want to be away from your team so that you don't get fluxed. And then the second they start coming down, you need to be with your team and getting ready to press Q at a millisecond notice, because they're going to follow up with a Reaper or a Mailed. Does that make sense? Because yeah, that way you can cancel out 2 or even 3 ults, rather than just using trans for flux, and then they just wipe you anyways.
Why am I in that one?
Oh my.
No, why am I in it? No.
Get him in.
Why am I in that one?
Right. So like, we are up by we are up, right? We have more people alive than they do. Actually, we're down 2, and they have 3 people on point.
Mhm.
Oh, why am I in it?
So the
No.
fight's still winnable, right?
Yeah.
Right now it's like 1 to 3. We're up. It's still winnable.
Oh, I'm throwing.
Okay, we just heard them use ults, and we just saw our team die, right? That would be I see 1, 2 of my players there, and I see 4 of them alive. That's not winnable. Let's run away back to somewhere safe, because if the enemy team can, they will push you. So like if you're anywhere over here, like this is not safe at all.
Okay.
Because like your team has 12 or 15 seconds to get to you, and like it takes them less time, and they can just be there in a moment's notice.
Yep.
So like I'd say this is where you say, okay, this is a reset. Let's get the fuck out of here.
32 to another
You might, if they don't actually push you, then you might be able to like throw some spam in there and build your ult, because that is a thing. But like the second you see them start chasing you, then you need to get out.
Widow, you're gonna carpe diem for us, right?
What? No, I'm switching off right now.
Right, like in between fights, you want to try to like watch where they're going. Where are they? I need to scout. It's called scouting and staging, or it's called scouting. It's like where are they? Where are they? Where do we want to go based on that? If they're over there, or oh, I see them, they're all running at us. Let's get the fuck out of here. And if you weren't scouting, like you just die because of it, right?
Okay.
So scouting is important. And yeah, it's good to just throw out spam in there.
How did we not kill him?
Oh Jesus Christ, it's been like an hour already.
No breathing.
Magma 907 is now hosting my stream with 1 viewers.
Hog, thanks, Magma.
Yo, they're huge.
What the hell happened here?
Yeah, kill him. I'm dead.
Right, okay, we're forcing them down on point with our ball.
No breathing.
And we're just kind of sitting over here. What the hell's taking damage?
No breathing.
What's your sensitivity?
I honestly don't know what I was playing at because I wasn't in a friend's dorm when I joined, so
Oh,
like
okay.
I had a makeshift desk, and I think my in-game sense is always at 5.5, and then I think my mouse was at like either 800 DPI or 1,000
Okay, that's fine.
DPI.
Yeah. Right, like when we took damage, like where the fuck did that come from?
I don't know.
I honestly have no idea. Let me see if I can figure it out.
No breathing.
Yeah, no, I think there's a Reaper behind us.
Oh my.
Like the second I heard that Reaper shot, like I was like, oh, we don't have a Reaper. Where's that Reaper? And it was so close. It was like it had to have been behind you. I think he went right there in the window behind you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like
No breathing.
that would be a move your mouse instead of your hand to make sure that you can or to make sure that you're like looking at what you're seeing, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like how I like hold my mouse, because like both my harmony orb and whatever the other one's called is on like my mouse scroll.
Mhm.
And I had push to talk on my mouse push, my scroll push, and my shoot and my first ability and second ability were on my mouse 1 and mouse 2.
How about you bring your mouse in next, and you don't have to bring your whole PC, but if you can, or if you want to, you can. But bring your mouse in at least to the next meeting, and then I'll help you out with how you aim and stuff.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I have at home, but I don't bring that to school. So like,
Mhm.
I have 2 mouses. One, like the one I bring with me, is like an MMO mouse, so like it has a whole number pad on the side, and then the one I have at home is just a regular mouse that's gaming.
Oh, okay.
So like I had to remap my mouse config because I like haven't played on my laptop because I usually don't play on this. So like I remapped it, and but I always keep the Discord orb and the Harmony orb on the mouse scroll, and I usually place my pointer finger on attack, my middle finger on the scroll, and then I place my last finger, the ring finger, on the second ability.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'd have to see it to, cause like yeah,
Okay.
there's ways to hold your mouse where it's like you can potentially be sabotaging yourself because of the way you're holding it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my. I'm feeding.
Right. Good. We're keeping on high ground. We don't need to drop. We're helping our team from the high ground. Good.
Because I was looking for an
We did not
opportunity
need
in
to drop.
case like they use all, I can just like all and jump down.
Nah, we don't even need to. We save. The only reason why we need to be with our team is because we know that they have an ability. We know that they have an ult, and it's like we see them. Like if we saw a Reaper and we didn't hear him use ult last fight, and we saw the May and we didn't hear her use ult last fight, then we might want to be a little bit closer, or just like at the edge to be ready to drop at a moment's notice.
Okay.
Cause like now you're an easy target. Like and you might even die for it. Yeah, we're forced to use that trance because he shot us. Feels bad.
Okay.
And also, like, even if you do drop, go back and play down towards main. Like, you don't need to be at the front line, right? Don't be the front line. You are not the front line. You are a 200 HP, easy to kill target. Do not be the front line.
Where does this come from? Did you see that? She just
Yeah.
flew into the point.
Let's go take a look at your Tracer game play real fast because I saw some stuff that I knew I need to talk about. What do flankers do? They go off alone, right?
I'm going for May after block, May after.
He's one.
Hold
Why is
on
this
a
thing not
minute.
working?
Alright. Becca, here. So,
What?
fair. Playing those is.
I got shields.
There's a Reaper.
Wait, what was that?
Come on left side.
Can you give me bubble? Ah, whatever.
Back up, back up, back up. My shield's down. Come on left side.
Ability usage. I'm not gonna go over ability usage. I think it's.
Care. You're walled.
Shield's down.
I'm giving you bubble.
I would probably block right there, because you know, like you're getting frozen, and then like you do a fuck ton of damage around you. Just like block, save yourself. Right, heal up.
Okay.
I can see why.
Like, int onto them the second they actually commit.
Yeah.
Right, so like over here, our whole team is dead, and they have
Okay.
about a tick left. If our whole team has spawns and like they're not far behind us, then we can definitely contest point. If
Okay.
not, save yourself. Set yourself up for the next fight. Rather than going to point there, as a tracer, I'd say you would want to go actually up here and then like go all the way up top there and wait there, right? Like stay hidden and like get ready to drop down, because like the next fight is going to be right. The next fight's gonna be in this area, right? So like if we're up top there, we can just drop down behind them, shoot a little, and then blink back to our team, or like E back and then blink back to our team, right? Does that make sense? Because like
Okay.
a flanker, you want to be a distraction and a pest, and force them to acknowledge that you are a thing and that they need to use abilities on you because you are dangerous, right? And you, if you are not dangerous, then you could be more effective on something else.
Okay.
But sometimes just being a certain hero is enough, but I don't think so in unless you like start off by like wiping the floor with them, and then like you choke, so you like play passively a little bit, but they're always watching for you. That's still being effective. But yeah, because like on Doomfist, in the Doomfist Reaper meta, all you need to do is exist, and then they won't push in on you that fast. So like you're literally doing nothing, but you are, because you're outplaying them. You're outplaying them in game sense wise rather than just mechanically.
Okay.
Give me a bubble.
Shatter.
Yo, kill this sick.
At one point, you were like way behind them for like a year or something, and then I was like, the fight's on like third point or something, and I was wondering why.
What do you mean?
Probably have freeze or
Yeah, I think right here, right, like we're in their spawn.
Yeah.
Look where the payload is. It's in this area. That's like way down there. So like we're looking for the respawns, right? But not a single one of them are dead. It's like nobody's here. I don't know why we are here. I like, right? Be here with a
Okay.
reason. We don't have a reason right now, because like if one of them died, if like Lucio or something, one of them died, right? Then we can be here and spawn camp them, because Tracer can totally do that. But if not, then like look at where this is. Look for the cart. Like it's a white outline. You can see that anywhere, right? Like don't be so
Okay.
far from it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, have it whenever.
Right? Because like we like lose people before we even start engaging, right?
I'm gonna bongo this. I bongo this. Nice job.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
Can we win this? Not really.
Possibly?
Yeah.
Oh. Nice. Try to get out.
There's a whole thing about target priority, but
Oh, you're fine.
do you think you have what to work on?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do
I think I wanna like I think I wanna get Zen down first.
Mhm.
Because I haven't played much I legit haven't played much other heroes outside of support.
Mhm.
Because when I usually feel support, and the only support I really have played is Zen. Because like because before, I think this is even before Mora came out. So my option were like Zen, Ana, and it's usually just Zen, Ana, and someone else usually like I would get queue into Zen, and someone would pick up Ana. It would just be Zen, Ana, and whatever the rest of the team is if they play anything that's
Mhm.
not like all support or all DPS or something.
Yeah. So we can definitely work on Zen, and let's pretend he He's not a throw pick because of team coordination, but like we're not running team metas, so it's fine. And like you can run this in ladder, you can carry with Zen and ladder easily, because especially because of his comms and how like important his comms are, and like his fragging ability, like you can easily just climb with him if you're doing it right.
Okay.
So yeah. So right. So how you improve with these things, right? Write it down on like a note card and put it right next to your monitor. Every time you die, take another look at that thing, and like in between each map, take a look at that thing, and just like
Okay.
say, pick out one thing per map. Focus on that one thing. And like, so what do we have on this list right now?
We have line of sight. We have not staying up front to the front line. Then we have using natural barriers and not, unless it's a risk of shield, don't stay behind the shield for too long. If you see cracking, you need to look for a natural barrier. We have crosshair placement, and in positioning, and then when you're dead, to locate, like keep track of alt usage and look at who's alive and determine the best path back to the point, or if you should hold and retreat, and who should hold discord and harmony, or based off of like how easy to have them in the line of sight.
Say that again?
Like based off of how the hero move, who should be holding, like who I should like throw harmony orb to if they're far away and our other hero can't get to.
Yeah, yeah.
Toss the harmony orb to them.
Yeah. Because like, if you have a Genji right next to you and he's looking to flank in, like you'd want to give your orb to the Genji or the Tracer who are looking to flank in, right? You want to throw it on the flankers while they can go in, and then like if you can peek them, then do. If you can't safely peek them, then tough shit, it's on them.
Okay.
And also, don't risk your life to save another's in this game. This isn't a real life. This is a game. Your life is, you are the most important person on the team. You can get 5 kills and your team will lose the fight because you are not there. Like that will happen every goddamn game. So you need to make sure you are alive. You protect yourself, and that you aren't making like silly trades where even a 2-for-1 that's not good enough. Like 5-for-1 like that. I'd yell at somebody for that. Just because like why you die on that last one, like you probably wouldn't even need to.
Okay.
But yeah, like protect yourself and don't put yourself in danger because of other people's shit positioning, unless it's to like, if your whole team plays like an idiot, then you sometimes have to play like an idiot with them, but at the same time you can still be protecting yourself within them. Like you can still be using them as bait. Because like let's say they're running flankers and your whole team's just running away from you constantly, so you would have to be forced to play with your team a little bit more. So like playing with your team and being in the middle of them rather than playing in the back would be better for you. And if you had that process, that would be 100% good. And just like make sure you have a reason for using your abilities, right? Like have a reason. Don't just use it because you can. Like accomplish something with it, right? Use wall to wall somebody off so that you can kill them. Don't use wall to just use wall and like you like force them into some area unless that's the plan, right?
Okay.
Like yeah, so little things like that. But we'll have to go over that something like that later because this is way too much info.
Because like the hero that I like before, the hero I was really trying to play, like I like playing Zen. I was trying to learn how to play Mei. I was trying to learn how to play Tracer. Zen, Ana, Mei, Tracer. Like those were the 4. Like way back then, that's what I really kind of like wanted to learn how to play.
Okay, yeah.
But
Mei is somewhat meta right now, so we could go over that later maybe.
Okay.
Because like my strength is general game knowledge and then also metas and like how to play a meta. Because like I learned how to play meta and that's all I do. Because like that's on my teams, all I do is play meta. And we're just forced onto it. We're just meta slaves. So like I try to understand it and try to understand every single ability used in the game, right? So like I can help you with that. But like in team environments like this where we're running like something like this, like what's our win condition? Pull hook and then pull tire and bongo coal. I don't know what Tracer does. But Tracer's just there to piss them off, and then Bap is, I don't know, there to prevent Reaper ult maybe, or like a dying to Sigma ult or something like that. So like yeah,
Okay.
but like that's all I can tell you. But like if you had a Lucio and you had a Mei and a Reaper, like I could tell you every single ability for every hero and like what to do. But yeah,
Okay.
sound good?
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. Also, did you react to the team schedules yet?
Yeah, I'm really trying to fill out my week. I know I won't be free today from that. I'm gonna like I'm not trying to because I don't want to like react and then like drop out and then like be like there's one person too little. So I'm
If
gonna
you're
fill
not
out
sure
my
yet, don't put an X. But if you are sure you're 100% sure you can't make it, then put an X. Or like if you're questioning, just like react with something else.
yeah,
yeah.
the ones I reacted to X I'm like positive I can't do,
Mhm.
and the ones I haven't like reacted to is the ones I'm not sure yet. And I usually like if I'm like quite positive I'll react to it, and then if I can't, then I'll X out. So like, is it better to leave? Like, if you're not sure, is it better to react and then, or is it better to just not react and react when you're positive?
Um, I'd say it's better to react and make sure that I know people are actually seeing them. And then like if you just disappear later on, it's easier to find somebody than it is to just or it's usually okay just to I'll just find a replacement.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Sound good.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Mhm.
Cool, cool. So,
Oh shit! I was supposed to get lunch with Poppy today. Feels bad. Guess I'm doing that tomorrow.
okay, I guess I'm out of here. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I gotta go back to my work.
Okay,
Alright,
bye
have
bye.
fun.